On the air, episode 98 marker.
Sunny San Diego, California. OTA is on the air. OTA is OTA. Little Tommy, Sully, and of course the Sully Band. Great to see you guys today. Look who's out front. Wow, was that Steve Dillard up there? Excuse me, Steve, that was fantastic. Nice. Hey, can I?
The band is back. The band is back.
Well, clearly, we've got 9 of the 10, and James has decided the body's still warm here, James. But he's decided to take my spot on stage. So
no,
that's
this
good.
is very uncomfortable for me.
I'm sure it is. Except for the fact that you've cemented your mic stand there in the last 3 weeks.
Hey, congratulations. It's episode 98.
Is it really?
Yes.
Wow. I want to say congratulations to Tomoka Jarvis.
Hey.
Tomoka Jarvis, who's just got back from being on tour with Andy Grammer. And you are everywhere, girl. I mean, I see you doing commercials for Japanese products. I see you doing commercials for American products. How long are you with us for, actually? Like,
she has to leave at 11:45.
No, I'm not talking about today. I'm talking about, like, literally. I mean, look, there comes a time. Are you? Okay, all right. She said she'd be here forever.
Yeah.
Can I take the time out to talk about, because we get a lot of email from people. I get stopped on the street all the time about this band.
Yeah.
And I want to say a couple of things, because you got Brian Jordan here, who's played with James Brown, Lauryn Hill, Dave Matthews. You've got, and then there's Trace and Mark, and then you've got. And you got Steve Dillard with the Righteous Brothers and Huey Lewis. You got Trip Sprague back there.
Who played with Peter Sprague.
Peter Sprague and Kenny Loggins.
Yes.
April Leslie, who's with Michael Bolton, and then James East. James East, who's Eric Clapton. Let me see. Lionel Richie.
Yes.
A Little Chris and the Nightcrawlers.
Hey.
Was his high school band. He's got 3 Grammys, 4 Tonys, a restraining order, and an expired Costco card. And I just want to say to James, happy birthday, James.
Happy birthday, James.
Well, thank
you. For your birthday, we got you a J. Craig Jelinek, the CEO of Costco, has given you a Costco wholesale gold card membership.
Oh my goodness! Wow.
So you are now officially. I think we should keep that with us as we tour. As we go around this next year.
Yes.
I think we should do that, and of course, I think. Do we have a little something for Mary?
Yes. As a matter of fact, we have another surprise for James.
Get out of here, guys.
As a matter of fact,
on.
James, if you can take a look at the monitor.
Oh, that's right.
We're going to bring something up.
Hang on, is he here? Oh, look who that is, Nathan East.
Oh, no.
Noah East. Look at that. I like that. He's got a Sully Band hat on. You guys are, so first of all, where are you? Are you back home? Noah, are you back down in LA right now?
Yeah, we're back in SoCal in the living room right now. We just flew in.
That's
just
good.
Wow. Welcome home.
Yeah. Have you did you see Noah playing the Hammond B3 with the current keyboard player for Toto, or was it? Was it Toto?
David Page.
Oh, David Page.
David Page.
Did you see
David
that?
Page.
So you're sitting there next to David Page just playing piano. Is that the deal?
That was crazy, man. A crazy moment. And that was in Switzerland a month ago.
Now,
Unbelievable.
I told Nathan, who, by the way, Nathan East is the most recorded bass player in the history of music. Plays with everyone from Elton John. By the way, because I know Nate and you, I'm 1 degree of separation from Ringo.
Yes.
Wow. No, seriously. Like, when was the last time Ringo was in your kitchen, or vice versa?
Well, his album just came out like 2 days ago, so we're excited about that too.
Yeah, so but I was telling Nate the other day, James, and I'm glad this is about you and your birthday as I'm talking to Nathan.
Of course, yeah.
Happy birthday, Nate.
Hey, happy birthday. So anyway.
Happy birthday, buddy. So anyway, enough about you. What do you think about you? Nathan, I go, it sucks to be you, because where do you go, like, tomorrow or the next day? What's your next stops?
Well, I'm going to Zurich right now.
And then he's got, I was reading the text, he's got like Italy, Switzerland, the lap of luxury somewhere in Monaco. I can't remember. You've got four more tour dates with Eric Clapton coming up. But the inimitable James East's birthday and the East family.
Thank you, guys.
Now, if you recall, we had Nathan and Noah here. Oh, look, there's Nina. What's up? What's up, girl? Welcome.
Hey, you can't have jumper back right now.
Right.
That's what we call for it.
But they were on stage with us here on OTA, and
That's
I think
right.
we had Lester Bangs.
That's right.
The guy
Lester-
who wrote
Lester Abrams, yeah.
Lester Abrams. So you're probably
Lester
who wrote
Abrams.
Minute by Minute.
Yep.
Lester Bangs was the editor of Cream magazine. Sorry.
Whoops.
Who was part of the rock and roll history here in San Diego. But of course, we have a very special treat for you because since they can't be here on stage with you today, James, I give you Noah East and the East Family Orchestra.
Here you go, Jamie.
Woo! Man.
Well, say it. You better say it.
Come on.
Jamie.
Come on. Hey,
I love you guys.
hey, no, will you come back if we bring the Hammond B3 again?
I'll be right there.
All right,
You're
dude.
going to have to kick me out.
I mean, James and I tell the story all the time. You got Noah East on stage here. You got Nathan East on stage here, and we all break down for lunch and we leave. We're done taping the show, and I swear, I think Noah was here. We got done taping the show at 12:30. Noah was here sitting at the Hammond B3 till 3, and as they unloaded the thing, because we had to, we brought it in, he was still sitting on the damn thing when we left. So we can't get rid of him.
Hey, I have a question for Nate about James.
Yeah.
Hey, Nate,
Yo.
can I meet Ringo?
Oh, man. I always tell him when he's up on stage there to wear a Sully Band hat and maybe throw some Sully Band pics in the audience or maybe slip one into Eric Clapton's, gig bag.
I've done that for a while now.
I know.
Hey, before we go, we just want to also just to shout out. Rusty was our dear friend too, so we just want to say we about and keep everybody lifted in prayer and thanks for.
Yeah, he loved you guys too, man. That was a rough one, but we love you guys. Thanks, man. I can't wait to see you again. Love Danita and the fam.
Okay, guys.
No, come on, get down
Love
here.
you.
All right, man. Good stuff. Happy birthday, J-Mo.
Happy birthday.
All right.
I appreciate
Love you,
it.
man.
BFF.
All right, that's right. Now get back to work.
All right, let's bring out the guests.
Giddy up. Let's go.
Ready? From Mar Vista High School, class of 1982. From the city of Imperial Beach, there's Serge Dedina.
There he is. What's up, Serge? Great to see you. Look at that. Did we just play Surf and Safari for a mayor?
Yes, we did.
You just played Surf and Safari for a mayor. I got to tell you, you've done a great job down there.
Thank you. It's been a lot of fun, really rewarding, and we've got great IB locals that have made it happen.
I think one of our favorite gigs, except for this year when three of us had to go to the hospital, was playing Hessfest.
Oh yeah, Fest was awesome.
But it was
Thank you.
120 degrees out there, and it was just one of those. Remember the heat wave we had this year?
Right.
Just one of those freaking days that was just crazy. But man, you can tell how much IB has changed when you see the amount of people down there at a public event like that. It didn't used to be like that until you got there.
Yeah, I grew up in IB. I remember the old days. Tommy does too, and it's been really nice to clean up the city, and it's just brought in more business. And having business leaders like Mike Hess, Coronado Brewery, Brigantine, just outstanding investors,
C180.
entrepreneurs. C180, thank you. and all the local business owners that have just rallied together. Pizza Port just opened. We're getting Pizza Novo going to open as well. So, and as we've brought in more jobs, created tons of jobs, cleaned up the city, cleaned up the empty lots,
Wow.
paved supermarket, paved the streets, our crime rate is as low as any coastal city in San Diego County, including Coronado. So I'm very happy about that.
Good for you. And I got to say, though, one of the best restaurants, I forget the name of the hotel, the one that's right on the sand.
Pier South,
Pier
C-180.
South. Man, C-180. It's one
It's
of
a cone
my,
restaurant.
I know it is. But
Cone,
it's such,
yeah.
You know, it's a hidden gem because you can go down to IB and you can get a table. You can roll in. And if we keep talking about this, it's not going to be quiet for very much longer.
Well, I do all my business meetings at C-180 on the beach or MyCast or Coronado Brewery.
Right.
I don't do any meetings at City Hall. It's always outside or at the beach.
You ever notice how Sly's really surged at that big Hess Fest event that we play? And he's over on the side of the stage, like talking, slapping the flesh, and you know, and doing the whole mayor thing. And he's watching he's up there kind of like at the same time.
You know, I'm from Castle Park, class of '82. You're Mar Vista, class of
Yeah.
'82. I think we're supposed to fight or something like that.
Yeah, you know, what I remember about growing up in the South Bay is that we all went to this, obviously, basketball games, football games.
Tijuana.
And TJ together on the weekends. But everybody was, you were friends with everybody.
Yes,
and
they were.
everybody going to San Diego, everyone's, you grew up in, and you go, what high school did you go
Hey,
to?
listen,
Right.
Woodlawn Elementary School. Harborside Elementary off of Woodlawn.
Yeah.
Come on.
Chula
Right.
Vista.
No,
Yeah.
I know. I'm sorry. I'm from Chula Vista. It's a different country.
But it's still, I really value about San Diego. All of us who
Yes.
grew up in San Diego are connected.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that's really great. And obviously, Chula Vista, National City, South San Diego, Coronado mean a lot to me. I spent a lot of time growing up there when I was a kid. And lots of friends and family from there. So, yeah, we're all good, man.
Well, thank you very much for being here because we've invited you since like show number 1.
Yeah, well,
So
thanks.
thank
And
you
thanks
very
for
much.
creating another cool place in San Diego for us to hang out.
Yeah.
Because it really is. If you go down there, if you haven't been to IB for a while, and that's the case a lot of times because people, you know, they're stuck to their old, I'm going to go to Gas Lamp, I'm going to go to La Jolla, whatever. You go down to IB, it's like a whole new world. It's right at your fingertips there, and it's going to be one of your favorite places. I've looked more than one time to buy property there.
Well, you know, I give credit to Mike Hess as well. You know, we had this empty lot that, you know, I used to say the alcoholic drug addicts that used to harass young kids and moms were hanging out there. Turned it in, Mike Hess put up shipping containers, a really cool design, got it done really quickly, and it's just a huge success. But Coronado Brewery across the street, it's just amazing to see once you move in great businesses and activities with good people, that it just cleans up the city and makes people feel safe. And I think that's what's the most rewarding.
Mike's a great friend. I'm glad to see you still selling alcohol in the same place he used to sell alcohol and drugs. Nice job, Mike.
Hey, we have 2
You'll
more
notice
guests.
that Mike has taps here in the studio.
We have
All
2
right,
more
let's keep
guests.
going.
Let's bring them out. From AM 600 Kogo Radio, ladies and gentlemen, Mike Slater.
Unbelievable.
Come on.
Spectacular.
You like that,
Listen,
don't you?
I hope.
It
everyone
was so
watching-
weird for me to have him say from News Radio 600 Kogo. You
I
gotta
know.
say AM
I-
760
I've
because
come
he and I have been
across
across
town, baby.
he and I have been across the dial from each other. Like
yeah.
Oh,
Kogo,
it's about time we're
KFMB.
reunited. I hope people appreciate how ridiculously spectacular this is, what you've built here. It's
Thank you, man.
unbelievable.
Thank you.
Thanks, dude.
It is so remarkable.
It's called
and
the Tommy
impressive.
Show. So
There you go. Well done, Tommy. You sir, deserve all the credit.
do you
And then
see?
this.
Can I just bring this up?
He just picked up
He is
that-
a Hall of Fame radio broadcaster. Everybody in the city has known his name for 30 years. And every once in a while, people will go, hey, man, I love the Sully Show. And did you see how he just butt right in there? Hey, I love what you, he goes, excuse me, let me just pull this out here. National Radio Hall of Fame.
No, I didn't even know you were going to be here, Sully, quite frankly. I thought that was just...
But wait a minute.
That was just him.
Tommy Entertainment Group.
Mike Slater just chose that song yesterday, and the band already knew it. That's amazing.
Oh, these guys are spectacular.
Yeah.
And watching what we just did, the guy playing the piano, I so want my kids to be able to do what you guys do.
Yeah.
It's like a superpower. You guys are like magicians.
Pick another
Your
song.
brain.
Pick any song.
How? I'm so bad at this game. I don't know.
Hey, listen, like any song. Brown Eyed Girl. No, don't play
It can't be done. It can't be done. But like the way your guys' brain works, the way you guys think. I used to play the saxophone in high school, so extra shout out there. But like I'm so amazed by what you guys can do.
Get out of here.
Wait a minute.
Like,
Don't
how does your
ever
brain-
play that song again.
How does your brain do that? You know what I mean? How can you press these notes on a keyboard and have beautiful music come out? It's
I
spectacular.
have a question for you. I mean, I was reading up on you.
I'm not nearly as impressive as everyone behind me.
You guys worked at the same place for a while, didn't
We
you?
worked actually together for about 3 months during COVID. I got all his guests.
Oh,
Remember that?
Yep.
You were on KFMB.
We just switched to Kogo.
Oh, you just...
No, excuse me.
At
we
the
were,
time?
We were on
Way in the
KFMB.
beginning.
We were on KFMB. We were on KFMB. Sorry.
But I have a question.
It's all a blur.
Dude, Yale University?
Yeah, don't hold it against me, man.
I mean, that's...
You're a Yaley?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
What are you doing in
where'd you
radio?
grow up?
Grew up in Syracuse, New York. Swam. So got on the swim team in college, and they recruited me, and I was like, can't pass this opportunity. My brother went to an Ivy League school, and my parents paid for it, and they said, that's okay, because your little brother, me, you're going to get a swim scholarship. And then Ivy League,
And that was
no
it?
swim scholarship.
Wow.
So they had to pay for that one, too. But,
goodness.
no, it's been good. It's a good thing. But it's crazy now. I don't know how my kids go there now.
What's interesting is he has a partner.
Yes.
That I've worked with for several years.
Yes. And
Who was it? So when I did Afternoon Drive on News Radio 600 Kogo, Hedgecock was over at KFMB at the time, at the very beginning. And this cat rolls up and was doing evenings. And when I moved on to television and other stuff, this next guest pulled into Afternoon Drive, and now these two guys have a show together.
Yep.
Well, let's bring them on.
Bring them out. Let's get it out here.
Ladies and gentlemen, from AM 600 Kogo Radio, Lou Penrose.
I just want to say, Lou, this is totally my idea to have you two guys. Tommy was kicking the screen, and he's like, yeah. I said, we need to have some talk radio guys.
Heck yeah.
Right? I mean, we always have these FM cats that are DJs, and they don't understand that our job is completely different than an FM radio.
Oh, we don't go to songs.
No, we
right?
don't.
It's like, hold
I'm
on to that
amazed.
thought.
We
Let's
peel
play-
the onion.
Yeah, let's just play people for a while.
You know, I listened to both of you, and now I listen to both of you together, and it's Slater and Lou. Why not Slater
Which
and
is
Penrose?
basically just BS in stereo now.
Double the BS.
No, I'm bringing the brain trust with me. I got Ivy League thought.
That's good. So radio is, how many times are you fired on radio?
At least 7, 8,
Really?
9,
No.
Yeah.
12.
You haven't? Yeah, you haven't
You
made
haven't
it.
been in radio if you haven't
yeah,
been.
But what the point? I shouldn't be. The question should have been, how many different stations were you on? And that because in radio, that's just the deal.
Y95, B100, Star 100.7, Star 94.1, Q106, Kixie.
Yeah.
That's all of them.
Isn't that, and in San Diego, there's only 2 talk stations. You've been
Now
on
there's
both
only
of them,
one.
And now there's
right?
only one.
You've been on both. Were you on KFMB for?
I was not. No, always Kogo.
I was always Kogo too for 30 years. Still am. Actually. I mean, I've never been to another talk station. I think I did some business editor stuff for KFMB, just as doing hits that they replayed. But overall, and I spent about a cup of coffee at 103.7 The Planet when someone thought it would be good to put me on FM radio, and it was a horrible idea.
So how does it
Kogo's
work?
number one.
How does it work for you guys? Because you guys are 2 gigantic personalities, solo, and then you guys are together now. Who gets the ball? Like, how do you start it off? Like, because you guys are all thinking the same, you guys all have great brains, but how do you guys do it together now?
I'll tell you in a second.
After the break. Oh, hey now.
What is the best compliment you can get in talk radio? Some guy walks up to you in a grocery store and says, I can't stand it when you make me sit in the driveway waiting for your next thing.
right.
We just did the art of the tease right there, pal. All right. Penrose. Serge Dedina. And the brand new Imperial Beach. And of course, Mike Slater. Tommy, Sully, the Sully Band. Great to have you along. On the air is on the air. Stand by. It's James's birthday show. On the air is on the air.
Do really well.
I like it.
You're always the swimmers. They get these big beaches.
Here's That's power. That's power. You ever see? You ever see that? That's why I always say I only get perspective when
Did you just hit the band?
No, it's
told
okay.
them,
Yeah.
told them when to hit their note?
That's called you only get perspective when you sign the front of a paycheck. Okay?
Yeah, well
When
done.
you sign the front of the PK, start playing.
Yeah.
Okay, come here.
I saw this in the Marine Corps Orchestra, right? That's all you need is a
really good.
baton.
So this is cool.
Watch, because Tommy doesn't sign the paycheck. So watch this. Okay, try to stop him. Try to stop him. Just put your hand in
You're in the Hall of Fame. Do they not know that
Yeah, well done.
All right. Slater and Lou. We have Slater and Lou, AM 600 Kogo Radio. When you guys first announced, I think it was September 1st, you guys announced, hey, we're going to be a team now.
Yep.
And you guys are big personalities.
Monster team. A
You guys
monster
are big
team for San Diego.
solo. You guys are big solo personalities. You guys can talk for hours and hours, without any phone calls. When you guys found out you're going to work together, what was it like? What did you guys think and say?
I'm tired of this. I'm sick and tired of an 8 to 10 record.
Yeah, that's about right. After a week of crying,
But
tears,
seriously,
and sobbing.
because now you're on a bigger frequency. What was it like being told, hey, you're gonna be with Lou now?
Well, look, I was a fan of Slater. I mean, I wasn't just a colleague; I was a listener because he was on the air when I was picking up my kids from school, and I was a fan of him. So I used to kind of sneak him in as a guest on my show every once in a while, whenever I could, to get his perspective on deeper stuff. I'm not that deep. Right? I always tell people that I tell you the news, and the snarky comments are just for me. The snide remarks are just for me. And then, that was the show. But I would bring him in to kind of like give some perspective and maybe some historical perspective or deeper thought about stuff. And I enjoyed it. And so when the opportunity came to work together, I was very excited.
Grateful for that. Thank you. I love Lou for a lot of reasons, but one of them is no ego. I don't want to work with anyone with an ego.
I can attest to that.
How
Lou
important?
Penrose has zero ego.
How important
None whatsoever.
is that, right?
And you know what's funny is because there was a
trying to get
guy.
ratings.
There was a guy because you were kind of like you were the Hank Bauer of radio for a couple of years. You were the utility guy. You were there anytime you needed him.
Anytime.
There was another guy back when I first started in 1993 or 2 named Lou Pate. And I will tell you how many times I talk to the people on radio. Go, oh man, you should listen to Lou Pate. He's on every night, and it's actually Lou Penrose. So I just want to say right here, a
Wow, they got my
public
name
apologize that I got your name wrong. When I first
that
got
radio.
when I first got on radio in a partner situation, Cliff Albert was our. Uh-oh, you okay over there? All right, good. Thanks, Cliff. You okay there? The horn sections get a little old, so everyone. So just, hey, did you break a hip? Are you okay up there? All right.
Things starting falling off.
Second. Cliff Albert would say, don't talk to each other, and he'd bring out a volleyball, the Wilson volleyball, and say, talk to Wilson. So the listener didn't think that you were just talking to each other. Do you guys have a problem with because you guys are both single shows, like Tommy just said. You have a problem with kind of figuring out how not to talk together? That was a real rough one for me for a long time.
I think the best thing about Lou and I is we're both super curious.
Yeah.
Right? So we always want to know more, because we're different enough. Like, we're both conservatives, but we have a lot of strong differences too that come out and have been coming out. So just like, wait, what do you mean by that?
Yeah.
So like, we have no problem that ball passing it to the other person,
Yeah.
just so they can explain themselves better. And it's better for each of us because now I have to explain myself better.
Yeah.
In the past, I just said my thing and moved on, but now I need to know a little more about what I think.
It's funny when it was announced that we were joining forces and putting the show together. I remember reading, in the trades that both two conservative talkers in San Diego, and I remember thinking, am I a conservative talker anymore? I'm not even sure anymore.
I can tell you that you're not. Knowing you as long as I have, because I got hired on Kogo because I was the a-hole in the woodpile, so to speak. Because I was socially somewhat liberal and fiscally conservative.
Yeah, so what does that mean?
Like I would say every one of us is. Like every single one of us is literally the same way. And I think that
I think Slater is more socially conservative than I am, but he's genuine and true to it.
I'm a Bible-thumping conservative.
Are you really?
Yeah, he's
Think
right.
so? Good.
But in a deep thought way, right? I mean, he's committed to it and it's genuine. So I can respect that. Just like I can respect genuine liberals or genuine progressives. At least they thought it through and they made.
Which is why we have you all here today, because I tend to be on Serge's hip when it comes to social justice and injustice. As a city leader, as a mayor of one of our finest cities in San Diego now, and I say now because you're there. Does talk radio or media shape anything you do or say?
Well, we've had a really good relationship with radio and television, and actually on the Tijuana River issue, and just support for IB. I want to say the San Diego media landscape, especially AM radio and TV, KUSI, for example, has had a big impact on our city in a positive way. And Mike Levin, God bless him, he said, but when Dan when Dan at KUSI does his, just riffs on Tijuana River, he gets calls. And that helped him get, really forced him to sort of get active on that issue. So
it should.
I want to say that. I think it's
he's
important.
a freshman congressman. Right. He should be getting calls. I mean,
right.
It should matter.
Right.
How outrageous that we can't use our beaches. What are we talking about here? This is
so
insane.
I think from that perspective, there's a lot of love in the community for IB and what we've accomplished. And conservative Democrat, can I say this word? I don't care. I don't care.
Actually, you can't say that.
Are we getting you're a mayor?
Just so you know.
And
as long as we're in
there, it's all about getting things done. That's it. That's all I care about. And I think it's been really great about what I've seen in the Tijuana Rivers. Last year I was with Darrell Riceau and Scott Peters, right? And we've had that bipartisanship, nonpartisanship, as Kevin Faulconer and Richard Bailey would say, on this issue. From the media landscape as well as the political landscape and our residents. People who've just said, let's get this done.
I'm glad when we're talking to you, it gets the phones to ring for the members of Congress. What have they done, though?
Here's the bad news. We have no phone lines here. 1-800-600-KOGO is your number. Come on, give us a call now and on the air. Tommy's our call screener. We got Mike Slater, Lou Pate, and of course, my favorite mayor, Serge Dedina. We say that every week because we have a mayor on every week. All right, OTA is on the air. We played so many shows this year that we decided that we're going to take a little hiatus. We do have a big announcement, Tommy. Yeah. A huge announcement that I want to talk about. Is Mary still in the building? Is she still mic'd up? Yes, sir. Because if she is, I want her to come in and talk about it. But the reason for the fanfare is because we got some pretty big news about you and something you started many years ago.
Breaking and Entering Christmas.
That's exactly right.
Yeah, Breaking and Entering Christmas will be exclusively on KUSI Saturday, December 10th.
From radio to television, as far as
television has always supported Breaking and Entering Christmas, but this one, it's going to be an exclusive to KUSI.
Yeah.
And Breaking and Entering Christmas, we're going to help a lot of families this year.
Well,
especially with your benefit at the Belly Up.
So we're doing a benefit concert at Belly Up. It's a happy hour show. Day before Thanksgiving.
This is a happy hour show.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Maybe we could have
what, more than one family this year, Tommy?
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow. Oh, really?
Well, we take care. We take care of one on the air and many off the air.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, we take care of a lot.
And if you don't know the story on it, really, there was one year and there was a family. It was a single dad, wasn't it?
Back in 1996, we get a phone call on the radio from a single dad right around, the holidays, and he just lost his job. He had 2 little girls, and he just needed a job interview. So on the spot, we got him a job interview. And luckily, he lived nearby. So when he went away to his construction site job interview, I went to Kmart, got a tree, got some Barbies, got food, got toys, got everything. And then I went into his house, and at the time I can...
excuse me, wait. Yeah. Then you went into his house.
Yes. It was that very first
You broke into his house.
Yeah, and at the time I was able to fit through the window. And so I fit through the window, and I remember setting up Christmas, and I remember seeing a family photo, and there was his wife.
Yeah.
And he didn't say this, but I realized his wife was in heaven.
Yeah.
And I felt her there. And I can just feel her there, and I knew this was good, and what we were doing was a good thing. And we set up Christmas, closed the doors, closed the windows, left, and then he called me. He goes, "Did you do that?" And I go, "No." So we
So it all
denied
started
it.
off with a lie, folks.
Yeah, so we denied it,
And a
and
crime.
then every year we do it. Yes, we do get.
How many years now is this? Was this year?
1996. I don't know how many years that is. Wow.
I always have 06, 16.
26.
Yeah, so over 20. It's 26 years. So
Yeah.
this year will be the 26th year.
Yeah.
Or
27th one.
Yeah, that's right. That's the
27th
27th one. And we're going to do it here on KUSI. And of course, Sully Entertainment Group, Faulconer Studio is going to be the title sponsor, a sponsor. I don't know if we're the title sponsor, but we're a sponsor. But the best news is that we're going to do a benefit concert to kick off the whole thing at the Belly Up Tavern on the
23rd
23rd of
November.
23rd of
Night
November.
before Thanksgiving.
And it's like a 5 to 8 show.
Awesome.
So it's sort of like a pre-party for Thanksgiving.
That's
You know what I'm
good.
and I think you know what I'm talking about. So right before Thanksgiving, we can start things. So very nice. Hence the fanfare. Thank you, Mary. Appreciate that. Mary Bird Godwin is our rank here. All right, back to
got a
radio
question.
and back to radio and politics.
Question for Slater. All right, in 2020, I became friends with a guy named Pastor Jeremy McGarity, and he loves you. He's your biggest fan. And we talk and stuff, and he just said, hey, you know what? I just love the way Slater uses his faith with what you talk about on the radio. How do you do that? Because that's kind of hard.
Yeah, I figured if I was going to get fired for any reason, that would be a good reason too. Right? If you can talk about Jesus on the radio and get fired for it, that ain't bad. But if I was going to get fired for not doing it, and that'd be lame, I would have missed my opportunity to spread the gospel. And that's my main purpose in life. All this other politics stuff is a nice little aside. Get some stuff done in the meantime, clean up some crap in the ocean, that's great. But if we can talk about God and heaven, that's good stuff right there.
There you
Lou,
go.
how did you get started in radio? What was the beginning?
Just knew that there was always something I wanted to do. I remember the moment it hit me. I was homesick. Remember when you're homesick? And
Were you homesick or homesick?
No, I was stayed up from school.
Because that's like saying look up on the road ahead or look up on the road ahead.
Laying on the sofa. My mom was there, and my mom was watching her afternoon shows, and the Phil Donahue show came on. Remember Phil Donahue?
Yeah.
Wow.
And I thought, this guy gets to go around the audience and interview people and talk about the most controversial thing, the stuff that you're not supposed to talk about, religion and politics. And he's doing it. I was always fascinated with stuff you're not allowed to talk about in mixed company.
You realize, Lou, that Phil Donahue was before the internet.
Well, that's when it hit me.
And we
I
all remember
who he was
talk about a
interviewing.
brand story.
Who
We
was
still
it? Who
remember.
was
He was interviewing Muhammad Ali.
Wow.
And Ali was doing this riff on words, on how there's angel food cake and devil's food cake, and white knight and blackmail, right? And how that matters and how that seeps into our culture. And I'm like, I didn't even know he was a boxer, right? I thought he was a philosopher. I'm like, who is this guy?
He was a philosopher, though.
He was fantastic, and I remember it like it was yesterday, and it shaped what I wanted to do, which is examine the things that make people uncomfortable and that you're not allowed to talk about in mixed company and why.
Gosh, I have a similar-ish story. Mine real quick. I swam for a high school that was 40 minutes away from my actual high school. And on the way, we would listen to the local talk radio host, Jim Reith, AM 570. And whatever he was talking about, we would talk about at the dinner table that night as a family.
Yeah.
So the greatest compliment anyone can ever give me is, I listen with my kids in the car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
I never
say,
got
turn
that
it off.
compliment.
Well, you gotta watch your language a
Never
little
got
more.
that. How did you get your start, Mike?
I was too scared until my junior year of college, going into my senior year. I stuck back around to swim there that summer. I wrote UN advisor with John Bolton. John Bolton was speaking at the school.
Is this the international symbol for mustache?
Yes, I was doing one of these.
wanna
John Bolton was
wanna
speaking.
check on
He was
that.
so rudely treated. I wrote an editorial in the local college newspaper. 2 girls had a local show on the college radio station. They invited me on. It was right across the street from my dorm room that I was always too scared to go into that radio building, even though I knew that's what I wanted to do. I finally went in. That mic turned on. I said, I'm doing this for the rest of my life. Taught the program director. I said, can I stick around this summer, do a show? And that was the
What was your first real station?
Jackson, Tennessee, outside Memphis. Market 280.
Palm Springs.
I know, listen, I'm on
159.
I'm on Jackson, Tennessee on our national team.
There you
I
go.
know, I love those 999 markets. Opelika, Alabama, Jackson, Tennessee. We've all worked there.
Are you in Palm Springs? You gotta get in Palm Springs.
Oh, that, of course.
And you know what? Serge Dedina is termed out. That means maybe he'll be on the radio or television.
Oh yeah, of course.
There you go. Your Honor.
Come on, get a felony going.
Right, the
Get
line's
it going right now. You'll end up on the air. On the air. It's on the air.
I just decided not to run again.
Mayor Serge Dedina did not term out, although he completed almost 8 years. What happened?
Oh, no, you know what? I have had a great time being mayor. I accomplished all of the goals I set out to accomplish, and it's time for someone else to take the lead. That's what. That's how government's supposed to run citizen politics.
Not very, you don't hear that every day. Man, a great time being mayor. Thanks, everybody.
And overpowered.
Yeah.
That's how it should be done.
Speaking
Well done.
of being mayor, we have a surprise guest out of nowhere.
Yes.
I got a text from the former mayor, and I give you, ladies and gentlemen, Mayor Kevin. Great to see you. Look at you.
I'm just in the area. I heard the band was playing, so I was gonna come by and say hi.
I love when I get a lunch invitation and I'm on there. He goes, "I'll just stop by." Okay, perfect. Can you get here like in 10 minutes? Because we'll just make you part of the show.
Because we're all here.
This is the confluence of politics and talk radio.
Yeah, look at that. It is. I like it.
Governor Faulconer, how are we going to fix? Question, seriously.
Sir, Tommy.
We got local
Roads.
problems, we got local problems, we got national problems, we got state level problems. How are we going to fix this stuff? What's the first thing?
You jump in with bold ideas, and you got to be able to work together with people. I would tell you, when I heard Serge was on today, when I think about what this guy did as mayor, we're going to miss him. Number one, particularly with all the stuff on clean water, which affects all of us. So
Yes.
this guy's been a fighter and a champion.
We used to be a red state. And we used to have red Republican governors.
We did.
And it seems like those days were a long time ago.
They are, Mike.
Do you know what?
But all of that being said,
People haven't moved, right? I mean,
Well, Texas used to be a blue state at the same time. You realize that? Texas was a blue state when California was a red state.
They both seem impossible.
This is an argument for the Electoral College. Because at one point, in the electoral college is there to give equal sort of representation. Otherwise, you would only campaign in Texas and New York and California and Florida, maybe. Okay. The bottom line is that the Republicans stopped campaigning in California, and the Democrats stopped campaigning in Texas.
Sure.
To the point where they used to, and suddenly we saw migration where suddenly you got the opposite happening.
All of that being said, look, I'm a big believer that the pendulum swings both ways, and I think that how do you win and how you be successful? You actually have to talk about in terms of common sense and action. I think we've lost a lot of that in California right now, but more to come.
Yeah, with all the problems Californians are having, San Diegans are having, I don't understand why Democrats keep winning. I don't understand that. Like, aren't we, fed up?
Wow.
Yeah.
We just got political. My goodness.
I walk in with.
No, what's rock bottom? What's rock bottom? How bad's it have to be?
I'll tell you why, Tom. You want to know why?
Yeah.
Because you need two contenders in the ring, right? We don't have 435 contested congressional races every 2 years. We do not have contested, gubernatorial races. You need to have candidates. It's the singer, not the song, that makes the music move along.
So Brian Dowling.
Brian Dowling. Not to the Who.
Look at that.
Right? You need a band leader to sing the song. And this idea of you're preaching to the choir. No, sometimes the choir forgets the words. You've got to continue to make the case for common sense solutions for San Diego.
Well, and it's common sense solutions. Look, Kevin, I want to thank you because I was at the meetings in Mexico with the president of Mexico and Kevin, and also the meetings at the White House under the Trump administration, or meetings with the EPA in San Diego.
We fought those wars, brother.
I really appreciated. Kevin always helped move the ball forward, and again, I said that nonpartisan. There was no politics.
Yeah.
It didn't matter if we were the Trump White House or up in Sacramento or here in San Diego or Mexico. It was just all about getting stuff done, and I think that's really important.
Here's my question.
I think people are sick of
that's a nod to his leadership.
Here's my
sick of red and blue.
I'm not the Faulconer's leadership.
They want
Give me
common
credit.
sense. They want us to get focused on real things that help real people.
Wait, stop. Wait, I got a question. You're right. It's common sense and it's nonpartisan. But how can you have nonpartisanship when your main job is to keep your job and get reelected? Because that is the main job, it seems, of some of our representatives in the state.
Well, good policy is good politics, and if you don't care who gets the credit
I agree with that
and you win,
absolutely right.
It's the way to go, right?
Absolutely right.
You can change the world if you don't mind who gets the credit.
Well, wait a second. Hold on a minute. Let me push back on that. We have a bad policy with respect to, let's look at the electric vehicle issue that we just said. We had a mandate that said, or we had a suggestion over the weekend that said, please don't charge your electric cars after a mandate saying that we're not going to have any combustible vehicles sold by 2030. Now, that's bad policy, but those guys are getting reelected. So tell me why. Tell me what, in your opinion, why is that happening? Because you got bad policy, but people still electing, the same people that are putting the bad policy out there. That's the problem I have with it. And I think we're a long ways away from nonpartisan politics, which is a sad truth. And I think you two are the tip of the spear there.
No, you have to offer an alternative. Yeah, how do you win? I think you win by a competition of ideas. And people are leaving California, right? I mean, they are.
Yeah.
We're too expensive. It's too hard to raise your family. It's too hard to do all the things that you want. People are voting with their feet. And so again, back to that pendulum swings both ways. I think either the candidates that are successful or those measures that are ultimately going to be successful, you have to connect with people and to say, this is more common sense, because right now, I think we're losing that. And too many people are leaving. It's too expensive in our state.
President and Vice President of the Common Sense Party. Come on. Let's do this.
Wait, I got to say something. Sorry about that Democrat line. Forgot about that. I forgot.
Tough crowd.
You feel like
it is. I asked the question before. Aren't we turning more purple every day? Because the status quo is, I don't like the two colors that are there. I don't like the red and the.
I think the electorate is more purple than it's ever been. For sure.
Let's talk about more politics.
Because leadership is more extreme. As they get more extreme, we get more purple.
Kevin Faulconer in 2026. Kevin Faulconer in 2026. It's a slight move. I finally, after 98 shows, this is 98,
got my talk radio bros.
Do it again, brother.
No, I mean, listen, we have these mamby-pamby FM guys every single week.
We're going to talk for 20 seconds, huh? 20 seconds here.
I mean, we have had Hedgecock here. I think have we had Mark Larson? Was he?
We invited him once, and he was driving.
He said, and this is what he said. Hey, Mark, would you like to come on the show?
I don't ever want to see it again. Ever.
Now that he's on, now that Larson's on at 7 p.m. on Kogo, he can do this show.
He can't come on?
Yeah.
He can land the plane right over here.
Well, and I don't think we've, other than me and Hedgecock here, we don't ever get representation. So I thought today.
Appreciate it.
And what a better person than Serge. And then, of course, the mayor heard that Serge was here. So.
I got a very serious question for Mayor Serge Dedina. What do you like to surf?
Well, obviously, in my hometown of Imperial Beach, but I haven't surfed an IB in 3 years because it's been so polluted. I just can't afford to get in contact with. So a lot of surfers in San Diego know they'll see me at La Jolla, PB, OB, Del Mar, Solana Beach, Trestles, and then obviously Baja. So yeah.
Do you get recognized in the water?
Sometimes, but I don't see very well and I don't hear very well. It's just like, hey, or
you notice he says that when he's almost done.
I'm like, hey, I was at some person, guy started yelling at me. I'm like, dude, I can't hear very well, but hey, have a good morning. You're gonna get in a fight with somebody else. Two middle-aged guys punching each other in the water.
Does that still happen?
Dude, it's still happening because last year at Las Gums, two morons, 50-something guys punching each other, and I'm like, I'm a witness, guys. They started screaming, the whole crew started screaming at each other, and they got off the peak because they started drifting away, and I caught a set wave, so it was fine. He's fine.
Well, wait a second,
they were fighting over who would surf. I want to
ask her, because the big territorial spot was always wind and sea.
Wind and sea.
Is that still territorial?
I think surfing's changed. There's still some people that practice that. You still should be very respectful. There's some people who are just clueless. Surfing's really changed. But you definitely want to be respectful.
How so locally? Because that's interesting.
Yeah, and look, I've gotten yelled at when to see, and again, I just ignore it, and we've seen encounters, and it can happen anywhere, but the reality, a lot more new surfers need to be a lot more respectful and understand the lineup, but there's no excuse for screaming and yelling and fighting. It's not like what it used to be when I was a kid.
We used to surf Greenwall in La Jolla as little kids and grew up there, and every time you saw a gray-haired dude paddle out, it was like, hey, here's the Pope. Let's get out of the way. It's not like that anymore, huh?
Yeah, and look, when I was growing up at IB, we'd go to Black's, which was pretty open and empty, but we didn't even dare go to South La Jolla. We didn't go anywhere south of the Cove because it was like you weren't gonna.
Well, who was invited there then? Who did surf it? How did you get in there?
Locals. No, you were local.
Hey, Yale, hey, Mr. Yale, there's no invitation that goes out.
Yeah.
There's an understood power.
I don't know how that worked. I just know, and working a lineup is something it takes years to do. So, I'm in the lineup on IB, but it takes a long time.
In the lineup, what does that mean? Like
the lineup means there's a pecking order.
Oh yeah, no, there's a thing here.
It's disappearing.
God, I wish I had some Godfather music. Because
I'm glad the mayor in his own city makes a lineup. Sure. That's all I want to know. We got IB covered.
Hey, but I battle out of South Bird and La Jolla, and I am very, you just don't, it doesn't matter who you are. You got to be respectful and respect the fact that the people have spent their years dedicated to the spot, and they're good surfers, and that's.
You want to learn to surf? Go to Waikiki, mister. Not in our town.
Like Waikiki, paddle out the south shore of the islands, you better be respectful.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
What are you going to do after you're mayor?
So I run an organization called Wild Coast. We do ocean conservation work from here to Mexico. Work in some of the world's most beautiful places, including La Jolla Cove and La Jolla Shores, all the leopard sharks and sea turtles and whales. So we do great work. I have a great time, and we're just going to continue doing that.
What's it called?
Wild Coast. Wildcoast.org.
What's next for you, Mayor Faulconer?
Ride my bike down the coast in a couple of weeks.
That's right. We're doing a Challenge Athletes Foundation $1 million challenge. Again, 700 miles in 7 days. This is my 12th year. This is what, your fifth? Fourth?
Fourth.
Or fourth or
You're
fifth?
doing the whole thing?
Whole thing.
Come on.
Good for you guys.
I put a rope onto Sully, and it makes it a lot easier.
And Shelley Zimmerman, right?
E-bike or
Chief Zimmerman's
full,
doing it.
Oh, come on. This ain't no country club. What do you got now? You two guys talk about your show.
5 to 7 p.m. weekdays, AM 600 Kogos.
That's a great slot.
It's a fantastic slot.
I loved that slot.
It's going to be a fantastic non-service show for San Diego because we're talking about things that actually affect people's lives. Because Slater and I have lives.
We got young kids. We're in the thick of it.
Right. We have families and houses and young kids and bills to pay, and the things that are in the news are certainly important to us, but we put it in the perspective of people that are listening, that are in their car, on the 805 or on the 5.
What's the name of the show? Is it Penrose and is it
Slater and
Lou?
Oh, that's a good ring.
It is
Slater and Lou.
It's 4 different arrangements, right?
Well, the alliteration's better. Lou and Slater's.
That's what I'm saying.
Slater and Lou. Slater and Lou
Just
sounds like a
happens.
cocktail. It's like a Harvey Wallbag. I'll have a Slater and Lou.
That's right.
All right.
Hey, weren't you with Mary Bono? Didn't you represent Mary Bono?
Yeah, 4 years, Deputy Chief of Staff,
Wow.
in Palm Springs.
How was that?
It was great. It was a fantastic foray into politics, one that I was on radio prior to that, and I left cold break. I figured I'll always be at least as good as I am right now on radio. Let me find out what this whole Washington, D.C. thing is all about. And then started a 15-year career, worked for 3 members of Congress, got to work with fantastic leaders like Mayor Kevin Faulconer and others all over the state of California. And gave me an insight as to what goes on back there.
Before we get out of here, you realize that now that we've announced Breaking and Entering is going to kick off at the day before Thanksgiving at Belly Up, you're going to get letters. Are you going to?
Yeah. How do you choose?
Can we start doing that?
Yes, you can. You can send letters in the very first day after Halloween, which is November 1st. That's when we're going to start looking for families to help.
Okay.
And you can email me at littletommy@kusi.com. But we're going to go through the letters and find one family that we will do live on KUSI on Saturday, December 10th. But we take care of many families off the air. People like Steve Finley, Junior Seau's family, they've all helped me through the years, helping and taking care of families.
Well, good. So, because I guarantee we're going to start getting letters.
Yeah.
So it's time.
Yes.
Anything different this year? Are we giving? Anything changed from the past?
Well, it depends on which family we choose. I mean, once we know what family we're going to help, then we can, shop for them. And it's a wonderful thing. I love it.
You're 26?
26 years. And thank you all for coming along.
Little Tommy.
Thank you all for coming along.
Yeah.
Love it. All right, and one last shout out to our very special music director, James East. Can you guys do the Happy Birthday song while he's on stage playing the Happy Birthday song for himself? Can we knock that out? Is there a possibility we can do that?
Happy birthday to you.
Come on, can we do that?
Happy birthday to you.
Go, Steve.
Happy birthday to you.
Come on.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday.
We'll see you next week.
To you. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Words born to rock on, and it just don't quit. And James East be the ultimate. Happy birthday to you, my brother, from the other. And we like to lift you up above. And left to say, we're glad for your birthday. Ha, my birthday, my brother. Bringing the bass like no other. Open the grooves, and we making a move. Happy birthday to